And we're back, guys. Tennis in a Minute. I'm your host, Good Energy. Thanks for clicking on the video. Thanks for joining me. And we're going to take a look at the other half of the round of 16. Who will make the quarterfinal? Coco Gauff, guys, her fifth straight year making it at least to the round of 16. Very, very skilled, very good on clay. Wins 75% of her matches on clay. She is solid, guys. And she's taking on someone that's very experienced as well, a lot of power. Everyone knows Ekaterina. They've played each other a total of, I want to say, 4 times. Coco owns a head-to-head 3-1. They've never played on clay. The last time they played was last year in Berlin, where Coco got revenge from a couple years ago where she lost to Ekaterina in Berlin. And then she came back to SW19 with Brad Gilbert, actually. Well, actually, she didn't go to SW19 with Brad Gilbert. She basically, Coco's dad, mom was involved too, but Brad was giving feedback on what he felt that Coco could have done to do better at SW19, that lost to Kenin. And then they decided to pretty much put Brad on the team. But nonetheless, Ekaterina got the victory in Berlin a couple years ago. Coco did avenge it in Beijing that following fall, as well as last year winning in straight sets. They've played a total of 4 times, and Ekaterina, she's won 3 sets off of Coco. Other than that, all of Coco's wins have been straight sets, except for their very first meeting when Coco was like 17 years old. So Coco's here after taking out Bronzetti. I'm sorry, she's here after taking out Olivia Gadecki, Valentova, and Buskova. Ekaterina actually took out Bronzetti, Elizabeta, and Kudermetova. Bronzetti and Elizabeta, very, very similar styles, right? I think they play their best coming cross court, and I think they have good backhands. Ekaterina is a lot more powerful. She can stretch the court. So I think those matches were pretty straightforward for Ekaterina. Kudermetova, she doesn't seem herself. She hasn't been playing well. She hasn't looked good. She came into that match 9-4 on clay, but this is where she gets hot every year. She kind of struggles the first quarter of the season, and then she gets hot during clay. But I don't think she was in her best form. Coco, on the other hand, very, very good match against Buskova. Mary Boo, her game is very different from Ekaterina. And I said that was one of the matchups that scare me. Because Buskova is going to get balls back. She's very defensive. She's technical. She doesn't have a lot of power to put you away. So she's just going to get balls back and rely on you to make mistakes. Very tactical. She can cut off the short. She can cut off the court with her angles. Ekaterina's not necessarily cutting off the court with her angles. She's literally a deep threat, right? She's going to go deep. She has a really good forehand. She's got a powerful serve. But the problem with Ekaterina, as I've always said this is nothing new if you follow the channel. I think Ekaterina, she's the worst misser on tour. What I mean by that is, if you watch Coco versus Mary Boo, Coco won the majority of the rallies over 7 shots. To me, that's a very good sign because Mary Boo doesn't make a lot of mistakes. She gets balls back. She's a good shot maker. Any defensive player is a good shot maker. Coco Gauff's the best defender because she is a good shot maker. I think people overlook her forehand because they want something to criticize about Coco for her not winning slams every tournament. But the reality is, if we go back the last 2-3 years outside of the French Open and the Australian Open, well, let's just say outside of the French Open and Iga Swiatek winning, the last 3 here, Coco's been the most consistent aside from Aryna Sabalenka in terms of going deep into Grand Slams. So she's not winning them, right? She won the one U.S. Open, but she also made the French Open a few years ago against Iga Swiatek. So she's made 2 slam finals, but people expect her to be winning them because she's so popular. but she's consistent. She goes deep in the draw, and that shows you when it matters, she plays her best. And this match matters. Now, I think Ekaterina, she's going to struggle again with these long rallies. Coco's a good counter puncher, but Coco's hitting. She's not missing, right? And the problem with Ekaterina is when she gets broken, she gets very frustrated and angry and upset. She's looking at her coach, her husband. She's doing all these gestures with the racket, like ball, go that way. She's making funny faces. And look, it's entertaining, but I think that's going to be a problem because Coco, this version of Coco is mentally tough. She's mentally sound. And if the Katarina's getting down on herself, it could get ugly quick. I like Coco Gauff to win this match, guys. And like I said, I like Coco Gauff to win this whole thing. I just think personally Coco's playing too good. That will set up a showdown with potentially Keys or Baptiste. Now, I think Haley could give Coco a challenge. The only problem is Coco moves way too well for Haley. Right? No disrespect to Haley, but Coco moves way too well that I think Haley would be on the back foot all match long, despite her amazing shot making ability. If Keys defeats Haley, I think it's going to be a challenge. But again, Coco's movement is going to put her in position to hold and win service games. Her defense, we know, is going to enable her to break Madison Keys. That's the key. She's going to have to get her breaks, but serve well. And as long as she holds, I think she beats Madison Keys, right? So we're going to take Coco over Ekaterina. I'm very interested in the Haley Baptiste Madison Keys match because that's going to be a big match. That's going to be, again, I think the last test really for Coco, especially if Keys wins, because I don't think she's going to have an issue with Sabalenka. I don't think she's going to have an issue with Svitolina or whoever comes out of that other side. I just don't see an issue there. But I like Coco over Ekaterina. That's the pick. Enjoy, guys.